There are 5 brutal truths that a quiet, disorganized man is hiding from everyone in his life, including from himself. To his coworkers, he's the calm one. To his friends, he's the most reliable guy that they know. To himself, he's just trying to be a good partner. Only the woman who lives with him senses that something is off, and she's never had the words for explaining exactly what it is because he can't name it in himself either. He's the kindest man in the room and the loneliest man on the planet. He's done nothing wrong, and his partner has never felt more alone in her life. I'm Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist with 16 years of training and experience. If you recognize yourself or your partner in the first 30 seconds of this video, do not click away. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 5 brutal truths that he is hiding, and I'll give you the words to say to him this week to start changing it. Let's go. Brutal truth number 1. His pleasing behaviors, it's not masculinity, it's fawning. Everyone in his life calls him kind, but what they're watching is the fawn response. There's a big difference between kind and nice. There's fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. Fawn is what a child does when fighting back or running away gets them destroyed. Fawning is people-pleasing. You make yourself useful enough, agreeable enough, and accommodating enough that you become impossible to hurt. As a child, every time he had a need, he got punished or ignored or shamed for it, so he stopped having them. He became an expert at anticipating other people's needs instead, and he calls that being a good partner. What he tells himself is that nobody cares how I feel, so I just have to keep pushing. The problem is that he's been pushing and pushing and pushing for so long, his adrenals are probably spitting out dust by this point. He has just enough to make it through one more day, so he's exhausted, but he's still endlessly performing through the fawn response. Now, this is not secure masculinity of providing for your family and anticipating their needs. This is a panic-based response to be a nice guy, but usually while expecting something in return. Brutal truth number 2, he cannot provide the safety that she actually needs. He's done everything his father did in the good way. His father's marriage technically worked out, so this should work out too, but it does not, and he has no idea why. There's 4 levels of safety that men need to be providing. First, physical safety and resource safety. Protect, provide. These are incredible. Quiet, disorganized men overwhelmingly follow these 2 things. They're exceptional at both. Both matter, and they're important. His partner probably knows he would physically die for her in an altercation, but she still doesn't feel safe with him, and he doesn't understand what that means. That's because level 3 is emotional safety. It's something else entirely. She needs him to stay in the room with her when they have disagreements or concerns, but he's never been able to be still and get through a conversation that would matter emotionally with her or with anyone else in his life. To compensate for this, he martyrs himself at the levels that he can deliver, protect, and provide. That means his partner starves at the levels he can't reach. Biochemical starvation, actually. The reason he can't sit still with her, the reason she still feels alone in the room with him, it's the 3rd truth. It's a functional freeze. Brutal truth number 3, he is not calm like he looks. He's in a functional freeze state most of the time. He may never have lost his cool in the marriage. Maybe he's never blown up. He's never told a single person in his life what's actually going on inside his head at all. And that's probably the problem. A functional freeze is what happens when a child can't fight back, can't run away, and when fawning sometimes works, but other times doesn't, you have nowhere left to go. So you shut down and just bunker inside your head to muscle through that painful, agonizing, fearful experience. You can't just stop and shut down. You have to keep working, so you dissociate from everything. He did this, and he hasn't been able to come back out of it. He's been in a mild dorsal vagal suppressive state for a long time, and that suppresses fear and anger. You feel nothing. It also suppresses joy, drive, sex drive, the ability to connect with other human beings, awareness of your own needs or emotions. It's a flat affect, a flat face that everyone else calls calm, but it's a freeze response wearing the costume of composure. Inside his head, it's a bunker, and the bombs are falling. Now, his partner probably sees some tells without exactly knowing what they mean. Maybe he chews his fingernails. Maybe a blank face that's always just a little too blank. Especially when she brings up a concern, he doesn't get angry, he flattens. The slight stuttering when something emotional comes up. The jaw that's always locked tight and he's grinding his teeth and he's had to get veneers put on again and again and again. The shoulders that just never come down. The stiffness when she tries to hug him. He doesn't push her away, but he's just rock hard. The low sex drive. Maybe the pornography she eventually discovers covering up that sex drive. The fear flickering in his eyes for that half second before his eyes go blank like a mask. Now, when she finally asks him what's wrong, his answer is always one of two things. First, work is really intense right now. Or two, nothing is wrong. Why do you think something's wrong? He's not technically lying because he genuinely can't express what's truly going on. He might not even be aware that something's actually wrong. To him, this is as normal as breathing. Now, before I get to the last two truths, I want to tell you about the place that I've built for people who are doing their attachment work and need some guided assistance. The Secure Circle is a free community that I've been building for the last few years. It's my mission to take what's working in attachment, the neuroscience, the behavioral research, what I'm seeing in my coaching practice every day, and get it out into the world accessible for people who need it. Inside the free community, you get monthly masterclasses with me on attachment, exclusive content with me and my coaches, live streams, Q&As, and a growing resource library so you can find what you need when you need it. The link is in the description and it is 100% free to join. And if you want to go deeper, the Secure Circle Plus is the same link. My top courses are included in that. There are weekly masterclasses as well, and you get direct access to my coaching team. And if you already know that your relationship's been dealing with this problem for years and you're done with it and you're ready to just fix it, my team and I are also taking applications for direct one-on-one coaching. The link is also in the description. Now, let me show you the last two truths that these men are living with. Brutal truth number 4. He cannot feel the love his family has for him. Of all 5 truths, this is the one that breaks the people around him. He is loved, but he cannot feel that love. A man who cannot feel the love of those around him will not understand or believe that he is loved, and he will unintentionally reject that love as well. In rejecting the love of those around him, he will also do lasting damage to them. His partner reaches for him again and again, but he flinches and pulls back before he can stop himself. His children climb on top of him laughing to play, and his face stays blank. He cannot find the warm response inside of himself. Now, when something great happens, a sweet moment, a stretch of real closeness, he gets more visibly afraid, not less. And the more visible he becomes, the more exposed he thinks he is to being hurt. And the more visible he becomes as well, his family sees that blockage and rejection, and they misunderstand it, and they feel hurt by his refusal of their love. His children don't understand that he's afraid of closeness. They think he doesn't like them. His wife doesn't understand that a hug almost feels like an attack. She assumes he doesn't want her to touch him because he doesn't like her. Invisibility is the only thing that's ever felt safe to him. Safe for him and safe for the people he loves. And brutal truth number 5, he carries the loneliest burden of any attachment style. Every other attachment style at least knows what it's experiencing. Quiet, disorganized individuals do not. He is the only one whose loneliness is invisible to him and everyone around him. The avoidant man knows that he's choosing distance. The anxious woman knows that she's hungry for closeness. The loud, disorganized man at least feels his chaos, and he makes everyone else around him feel it too. But the quiet, disorganized man is alone, and nobody in his life has any idea how alone he really is. He has erased himself for so long that nobody knows him. They only know the performance. His partner, over time, sees the empty shell and stops trying. She tells herself she's the problem. This is why quite often when a pornography addiction is later discovered, she feels angry and betrayed from 20 years of abandonment when he was doing this behind her back. His children, they stop reaching out by the time they're teenagers. They assume he doesn't like them or want to speak to them. They will usually tell their own kids that grandpa was a good man, but just didn't want to be part of our family. I've sat with quiet, disorganized men in sessions when their wife says, if this doesn't change, I'm done. And he feels utterly trapped. And then I spend the next 20 minutes guiding him through what it would be like to be visible. That moment when he says, I can be visible, but I'm afraid. They don't cry dramatically. They don't sob. They collapse quietly into grief. They become devastated. Their entire life recalculates in front of them. Everything I've ever done is wrong, and what a waste, is usually what they say. They grieve the time they've lost, and they ask, why did I do it that way? I usually ask him a question like this. What if everything you've believed is wrong? And what if it's possible for someone to love you too? What if the reason no one's been able to get through to you is because you believed it wasn't real? And what if it was? And then there's a follow-up question as he sits there pondering that, because they usually can't answer it. It just hits like a truck. The follow-up is this. What if your partner is worthy of your trust and you've been rejecting her without meaning to for years, and that's why she's hurt and starved and angry? This is usually the only moment that breaks the mask. He doesn't usually understand the anger because he's been performing the way he thought he had to. In that session, his partner can usually undo this whole moment if she doesn't know what's happening. The instinct is to leap on him then with every question as he finally opens up. Every hurt, every resentment, nasty, mean, vindictive. I've seen that again and again. Every story she's been holding together for years blows out, and she can't do that. He will overload. The mask will go back up for another year. He will give up. What she does need to do instead is sit next to him quietly. Receive what he can give. Don't demand the rest. I'm not saying excuse whatever other things may have happened. I'm saying this is the moment your partner is living and taking their first breath for the first time after stepping out of a prison they've lived in since birth. Their first taste of clean air and sunlight, and you attack them. That's not how you love someone. Now, if you are the quiet, disorganized man who's watching this video right now, you might have recognized yourself somewhere along this line. The fawning, the bunker, right? The first move here for you is different. It's not a conversation with anybody. It's actually smaller and harder than that. This week, when your partner brings something hard to you, stay in the room. And I don't even mean physically, maybe, but emotionally, mentally, verbally, stay in the conversation. Even if all that you can say is, I do not know what to say right now, but I am here. The shutting down is a panic response. The fix it alone in my head later, that's also a panic response. I know you've been told your whole life the strong response is to handle everything alone. That's the thing that's been killing you and your family slowly. There is another option. It's to manage your nervous system, your limbic system, your fight, flight, fawn, freeze response differently. And then stay in the room with them and be more visible and say the things you haven't said. Staying is the first part of this work. Even the right words can come later. For now, learn to stay. The quiet, disorganized man is one of the most loving men on the planet. Honestly, one of the best protectors and providers ever that you've ever seen. He has just spent his entire life convinced that he's not allowed to be open or intimate or even visible. So if you're the woman who loves him, the work is to stop trying to drag him out and start being a place safe enough for him to come out on his own, but start being clear about those expectations. Help him understand what you're actually looking for. And if you're him, the work is staying with her the next time that she brings something instead of emotionally, mentally, or even physically fleeing from the room. If you're the woman who's watching this and you've been the only one seeing him for years, remember that we have the secure circle where you can stop doing all of this alone. Even if he's not willing to start yet, you're welcome to join us. Inside, you'll get monthly masterclasses with me on attachment, exclusive content with me and my coaches, live streams, Q&As, and a growing resource library so you can get what you need when you need it and find it fast. The link for that group is in the description, and it is 100% free to join. And if you want to go deeper, the Secure Circle Plus is the same link. It has my top courses, weekly masterclasses, and direct access to my coaching team. And if you're the man who's watching this and you already know that this has been you, or you're the woman who knows she needs help knowing how to be that place for him, my team and I are taking applications for direct one-on-one coaching. The link is also in the description. Make sure you like and comment which truth stood out to you the most. Subscribe to this channel and share this video with the man that you were thinking about. Or if you're the man, share it with your wife and say, do you think this could be me? And then next, watch this video, When Love Turns Deadly, the truth about disorganized attachment in relationships. I will link it right here.